Her motives are still unclear. Bai Xiao glanced at Ning Qiushui unintentionally. He kept his head down and didn't say a word, as if he had something on his mind. In short, we still have to rely on ourselves to collect clues. We still have plenty of time. So let's go see the furthest place first. That way, we won't be under too much pressure in the next few days. The three followed the signs through the dense forest and arrived at the never-dry well. The well was dug among lush green bamboo, its mouth covered with moss and surrounded by weeds. Apart from a wooden sign placed beside the well, there was nothing else there. It looks like no one has been here for a long time. The annotations on the wooden plaque tell the story of the well's long history, and also briefly recount the events that occurred during the severe drought years ago, regarding Nguyen, Kaihong, and Quang too. These villagers are quite grateful. Lu Changfeng praised him as he approached the well and looked into the water. Ning Qiushui and Bai Xiao stood in front of the wooden sign, one on the left and one on the right, examining it for a long time. Any thoughts? Bai Xiao asked. She was very interested in Ning Qiushui, the newcomer. His mental fortitude, even among the elderly who had been to the Blood Gate, he was among the most outstanding. I have a very bad feeling. Ning Qiushui's tone was solemn. Do you remember when we first met Hu Kan? He told us that if we encountered anything strange, we could go to the village's sorceress ruin. Bai Xiao seemed to be deep in thought. You mean Nguyen? Ning Qiushui nodded. Yes, they share the same surname. This sorceress ruin is very likely a descendant of Ruin Kaiwan. What happened in the village back then was definitely not as simple as it is recorded. These villagers must have been hiding a very crucial truth. Do you remember the clue the Blood Gate gave us? Kind people shed their blood and turned it into sweet rain. What if that Guangshu, who was chopped up, was actually a good person? He wanted to continue speaking, but out of the corner of his eye he saw Lu Chengfeng standing to the side. His expression changed drastically, and he immediately went to the well. He grabbed Lu Chengfeng, who was about to jump into the well, and dragged him backward. Lu Chengfeng, have you gone mad? Ning Qiushui shouted, but Lu Chengfeng seemed oblivious. His eyes glazed over. He gripped the well opening tightly with his hand, squeezing in while muttering to himself, "So thirsty. I'm so thirsty. Let me have a sip. Just one sip." Ning Qiushui was quite strong. His high-intensity training had made him incredibly fit. Even so, he could only barely stop Lu Chengfeng from jumping into the well. Just as Lu Chengfeng's upper body was about to enter the inexhaustible well, Bai Xiaoxiu's voice came from behind. "Qiushui, hang in there a little longer." Good. Ning Qiushui gritted her teeth and used her body to pull back Lu Chengfeng. Even so, it was all in vain. Ning Qiushui felt that if things continued like this, he would also be dragged into the well. If it were anyone else, Ning Qiushui would have let go long ago. But in the previous blood door, Lu Chengfeng risked his life to save him. So Ning Qiushui didn't let go. He almost ground his teeth to powder. His originally handsome face turned bright red, and the power of his muscles was pushed to the limit. Just as Liu Chengfeng was about to fall into the well, Bai Xiaoxiu finally found a worn-out, blood-stained bronze mirror. She quickly moved and pointed the mirror into the well. Ah! A terrifying, piercing scream came from the dark bottom of the well. And at the same time, Liu Chengfeng also let out a scream. Holy crap. Hey bro, pull me up here. Without the restraint of the mysterious force, Ning Qiushui's terrifying strength came into play. Liu Chengfeng, who weighed 160 pounds, was almost thrown out by Ning Qiushui. He rolled several times on the ground, then lay panting heavily, his face deathly pale. Seeing that Liu Chengfeng had broken free of his restraints, Bai Xiaoxiu put away the bronze mirror. When she put the bronze mirror away, Ning Qiushui keenly noticed several cracks on it. Feel sorry, he said. Bai Xiaoxiu, however, didn't take it to heart and said, "That's how it is inside the Bloodgate. You can easily get caught in a trap if you're not careful. That's why people like to go in groups of 2 or 3. As she said this, her eyes dimmed slightly. It was hidden away in an instant, but Ning Qiushui still saw it. She must be thinking of her best friend. In this misty world, those who become friends must be bound by a bond of life and death. The sudden departure of such a partner would inevitably be a huge blow. Ning Qiushui didn't say anything more, but looked at Liu Chengfeng lying on the ground. He seemed to have recovered, but his face was pale, and his eyes were filled with fear. "Big Beard, what exactly happened to you just now?" Liu Chengfeng slowly turned his head. I just glanced inside. It was stagnant water, completely empty. But then, dead faces started appearing in the water. I wanted to escape, but I couldn't move my body at all. Then they climbed out of the well, grabbed my hand, and pulled me back in. A cold wind rustled through the bamboo forest, sending a chill down the backs of the 3 of them. But it looked like something was burned behind them when I separated them. I saw a dead person holding something that was glowing, so I just grabbed it and pulled it out. Upon hearing this, their eyes lit up. "What is that?" Liu Chengfeng opened his hand, revealing a broken wooden sign tied with a red string. He casually wiped the stains off the sign and saw a large character ruin written on it. Ruin. What the heck? I thought it was something important. Liu Chengfeng looked disgusted. Bai Xiaox, standing to the side, laughed and said, "It is indeed very important. Being able to obtain this item confirms one of our earlier guesses." Liu Chengfeng asked in confusion, "What's your guess?" Neither of them answered him. It seems that this sorceress ruin does indeed have a serious problem. As Ning Qiushui spoke, her gaze suddenly swept towards the depths of the bamboo forest. Her expression changed, and she whispered, "Quick, someone's coming. Hide." The 3 ran in the other direction. There were large rocks on the other side of the bamboo forest to hide. As the dark figure drew closer, everyone saw what it was. The person who came to the well was a headless person. Holy crap. Liu Chengfeng cursed silently. His heart, just calmed, suddenly tightened again. just how much filth is still lurking in this village. Although their first blood gate was in the underworld, at least there was only one ghost appearing at night. But Qiu village is different. It's teeming with ghosts, and they can attack them with impunity during the day. The three dared not breathe, watching the headless man. It walked to the well, picked up the wooden bucket, and threw it into the well. Then it started drawing water. However, as the corpse slowly lifted the bucket, it was not filled with water, but a rotting head. The corpse held the head and placed it on its neck. The dead fish eyes on the head began to move, but soon the corpse removed it and placed it aside, continuing to repeat the action for a full half-hour, until the corpse sensed something. It stopped drawing water. Pan returned, leaving 14 rotting heads by the well. Behind the boulder, Liu Chengfeng slowly peeked out. Holy crap, what is it going to do? Look for its head. No one answered. Ning Qiushui leaned against the boulder, muttering. The merciful cut off their heads and granted peace. He seemed to have grasped something important, but just then, Liu Chengfeng suddenly cried out in alarm. Damn, look at these heads. The others also peeked. That one glance sent a chill down their spines. Suddenly, the rotting heads turned around and stared straight at the three people's hiding place. Their dead eyes emitted a ghostly green light. It was as if those heads would fly over and devour them. It's so cold. Come down and join us. Come join us. Come with us. Never be apart. These heads emitted sounds like death knells. Hey, should we? Liu Chengfeng asked, trembling. He was shocked to find no one beside him. Liu Chengfeng turned and saw Ning Qiushui, and Bai Shaoxiu had already run more than 10 meters away. Holy crap! Liu Chengfeng was dumbfounded. He took off, chasing them. No, you to wait for me. They ran away without a word. That's going too far. The three ran until they came to a high platform. Liu Chengfeng leaned against a tree, panting heavily. You too are really going too far. Say something. Ning Qiushui glanced at him. Hey, bearded guy, be smarter. Why aren't you running? Or are you just waiting to die? Liu Chengfeng recalled what happened and shuddered. But what's with that headless corpse? Looking for its head. Ning Qiushui replied. It was wearing a monk's robe. Although bloody, it didn't have a fierce aura. It felt like it was just looking for its own head. They recalled the compassionate person from the clue. Could it be that merciful one? Ning Qiushui nodded. It's unknown whether he cut off his head voluntarily, or whether someone else cut off his head. Also, do you still have the wooden plaque from the ghost? Liu Chengfeng nodded and handed it to Ning Qiushui's. Sister Bai said, this is valuable, so I kept it. Ning Qiushui examined the character ruin on the plaque. Do you think the ruined family are kind or compassionate? The two looked at each other, neither answering. Ning Qiushui put the wooden plaque on her person. This is unlucky, bearded man. I'll keep it for now. Liu Chengfeng shrugged. Whatever, take it if you want. After putting away the sign, they confirmed their location. We actually got to Fankantang, Liu Chengfeng muttered. He looked at the high platform in the distance. Vines climbed the blue stone, coexisting with black algae. There are 9 stone steps surrounded by rusty chains. At the top is a square pond, about 4 square meters. Hey, do you think? What strange thing is in that pond? Liu Chengfen seemed to have recovered from the fear. Both shook their heads. Be careful, this place feels uneasy. Bai Zhoxiu's voice became serious, her face solemn. Although nothing seemed odd, she felt something was off. In fact, upon entering, she felt a chill all over. Grass. They couldn't find annotations, but heard a cry. They found Liu Chengfen staring at the black algae. Big beard. What's wrong? Liu Chengfen hesitated. Just now, I saw these black algae. They seemed to wriggle. Maybe I'm seeing things. Before he finished, they heard water splashing in the pond, as if it was boiling. The 3 of them were immediately drawn to Fankantang. The sound of surging, boiling water echoed continuously from the small pond, as if something was about to emerge. All 3 of them stared intently at the square platform on the high platform, their hearts pounding with tension. Step back, Bai Zhoxiu whispered. The 3 slowly retreated, but soon they discovered that the black algae under their feet actually began to wriggle and quickly climbed up their legs, fixing them. Oh no. Liu Chengfen's eyes widened. He reached out to poke at the black algae, but they were incredibly strong. No matter how he poked at them, they didn't budge, as if they were growing on his body. Not far away, Bai Zhoxiu reached into her backpack, seemingly trying to pull out some props. But at that moment, a terrifying red figure slowly rose directly from the pond. The 3 of them looked up at the red figure and felt their blood freeze. It was a bloody woman's skin. The outside of this human skin was covered with knife wounds, as if it had been subjected to a slow, agonizing death. And those algae on the ground were actually the hair from this woman's human skin. Holy crap. At this moment, Liu Chengfen could only utter these 2 words. He could say nothing more, and it seemed as if every one of his 36,000 pores was emitting a chill. After the woman's human skin appeared, her drooping eyeballs rolled a few times and suddenly locked onto the 3. Clatter, clatter, clatter. The human-skinned feet landed on the ground, stepping onto the stone steps one by one, blood flowing down. It slowly walked toward Ning Qiushui, who was closest, its eyes filled with terrifying resentment and grief. This process, though short, felt like an eternity. Finally, the human skin stopped in front of Ning Qiushui. At this point, all 3 of them were completely unable to move. Bai Zhoxiu's back was soaked with cold sweat. She had protection, so the female ghost couldn't kill her. But she was bound by the black algae and couldn't save Ning. She could only watch helplessly as the woman's skinned finger touched Ning Qiushui's brow. Ning Qiushui felt the threat of death. The coldness on his forehead gradually spread throughout his body. After the cold comes the terrible pain. Ning Qiushui felt as if his entire body was about to split open, as if an invisible knife was slowly cutting through his flesh, removing his bones and digging out his internal organs. At first, he was able to grit his teeth and endure it. But as the terrifying pain spread, Ning Qiushui screamed. It was this movement that allowed him to break free slightly from the woman's hair, causing his body to tilt to the side. Something fell out of my pocket and onto the ground. Snap. The sound wasn't loud, yet in the quiet woods it was clear. They heard it. The woman's skin also heard it. It was the memorial tablet that belonged to Guangchuan. Her gaze fell upon the memorial tablet. The ghost paused. With a flick of her hair, she swept the Guangchuan tablet from the ground into her hand. It stared at it for a long time. Ning Qiushui finally breathed a sigh of relief. He saw the sorrow in the ghost's eyes and seemed to understand. Ignoring his aching body, he shouted at the female ghost, "I'm not from this village. I'm here to investigate the truth. What happened in the village during the famine? How exactly did the Guangxu family die? You must know something. Tell me." Under Ning Qiushui's questioning, the female ghost raised her head, but her eyes still held a terrifying coldness and death. It gazed at Ning Qiushui for a long time. The female ghost grinned, revealing a terrifying smile, and let out a laugh that sounded both mournful and maniacal. "Bring her to see me. Bring her to see me." After repeating this, its body suddenly began to swell like a kite, finally floating onto the high platform and disappearing. On the ground, all the black algae disappeared. It's as if none of this ever happened. Thump. Ning Qiushui knelt on one knee, about to fall, but fortunately Baijiu Kasao was quick-witted and caught her. "Qiushui, are you all right?" Baijiu Kasao said worriedly. Ning Qiushui, panting, waved her hand. He felt like all the bones in his body were about to break. "I'll carry you on my back," Liu Chengfeng said immediately. "Brother, don't worry. I won't abandon you. I'll be your legs." Ning Qiushui nodded slightly, took a few breaths, and said, "Take me to see Fan Kanchang." Liu Chengfeng hesitated, but carried Ning Qiushui up the steps. After climbing onto the high platform, the three looked down. I'm fucking. Liu Chengfeng's legs went weak. After seeing the bottom of the pond, they finally understood. In the pond, a woman's skin was fixed to the water, with 4 iron chains piercing her limbs, her face up. The human skin was covered with countless knife wounds. Beneath the human skin lay a large number of intact bones. This woman was fixed in the pond before she died, and her bones were stripped off while she was still alive. My God, what did she do to deserve such a murder? Liu Chengfeng's lips trembled uncontrollably. Immersed in a cold water prison, pierced in all 4 limbs, bones removed piece by piece from the rest of the body. Just thinking about it made him feel cold all over. "Go back," Ning Qiushui seemed to understand something. He asked Liu Chengfeng to take him away from the platform. After getting down, he patted Liu Chengfeng on the shoulder. "Are you all right, buddy?" Liu Chengfeng was still uneasy. Ning Qiushui waved her hand, somewhat weakly saying, "There shouldn't be any serious injuries, but my body aches, like knives are cutting my flesh and digging into my bones." Liu and Bai looked at each other in bewilderment. They understood the female ghost had used the same method. If it weren't for Guangchuan's memorial tablet falling, Ning Qiushui's fate would likely be terrible. Judging from the ghost's reaction, she seems to know Guangchuan. Even though Liu was oblivious, he could tell. The ghost had unusual sadness when holding the tablet. Bai Zhaoxiu glanced at Liu Chengfeng with surprise. "I never thought you could be so thoughtful." Liu Chengfeng snorted. "I'm rough, but meticulous." Ning Qiushui said, "It's not just a simple acquaintance. It must be related to Hirokawa, his wife or mother." I personally lean towards the latter. Liu Chengfeng gasped. "If that's the case, then unknown things happened during the severe drought. And these things weren't recorded by the villagers. But the ghost wants us to bring her. Who is she?" Ning Qiushui and Bai Zhaoxiu exchanged a glance. "It's getting late. Let's head back. It'll be dark soon. This village is very eerie. It's dangerous at night." The two agreed to Bai Zhaoxiu's suggestion. It's not too late, but it takes an hour to get back. With many questions, the three began their return journey. Fortunately, their journey went relatively smoothly. It was almost dinner time when they returned to the guest house. Ning and Liu tidied up, then invited Bai to dinner. However, I stood in the room with a serious expression. "What's wrong, Sister Bai?" Ning Qiushui asked. Bai Zhaoxiu sneered. "Someone came into my room." She took out a black flashlight and shone it on the ground. Footprints appeared, one after another. Although messy, they clearly came from two different people. The two men's expressions changed. "This," Bai Zhaoxiu said. "In the morning, Qiushui mentioned a ghost. I became suspicious. We can't rule out human factors, so I sprinkled a special powder on the floor. There was some in your room, too." She shone her flashlight and followed the footprints. Someone had secretly broken into all three of their rooms. Moreover, it was the same person who infiltrated shoes size 35. Most likely belonged to a woman. Bai Zhaoxiu glanced at Ning Qiushui. "So this is why some unlucky guy was targeted by a ghost." Ning Qiushui remained silent, deep in thought. Liu Chengfeng, standing nearby, clenched his fists. "TMD. Which bastard came after us for no reason? If I catch him, I'll definitely..." Bai Zhaoxiu looked at Liu Chengfeng and said calmly, "What about you? Did you kill her?" Liu Chengfeng was suddenly speechless. "I must warn you, never kill anyone behind the blood gate." "Why?" "Because those who die here will become ghosts." Upon hearing this, Liu Chengfeng's breath hitched. Bai Zhaoxiu continued seriously. "People killed by ghosts are neutral units. But if someone is killed by another person, they harbor intense resentment and seek revenge." Liu Chengfeng swallowed, his anger disappearing. "But soon," he said, "we can't just sit and wait to die." They got messed with and didn't say a word. Bai Zhaoxiu rolled her eyes. "You're so impatient. You have to eat one bite at a time, right?" Liu Chengfeng realized his rage was ridiculous. Yes, I was too hasty. I'm sorry." At this moment, Ning Qiushui spoke up. "It seems that what I've been worried about has come true." Both turned to look at Ning Qiushui. "Hey buddy, What are you worried about? Ning pointed to the footprints and said to Bai, although certain, I still want to confirm it. Sister Bai, go check. Are these footprints? Temp's scows. Bai Zhao's nodded, turned and left. A little while later, she returned and nodded coldly. It's her. Upon hearing that the footprints belonged to Tang Jiao, Liu Chenfen's eyes widened. Holy crap, it's her. Bai Zhaoxiao rolled her eyes. Come on, bearded man. Are you really that surprised? Everyone went out to look for clues this afternoon, but she went to the nearest Fu temple. Of course, she may not have gone at all. Anyway, she hardly ever tells the truth. Liu Chengfeng angrily said, I knew she was no good. She claimed to be having a meeting in the room, but she was just bossing everyone around and using us as pawns. Now, they want to harm us. Ning Qiushui, who had been staring at the ground, suddenly said, Sister Bai, give me the flashlight. Bai Shaoxiao nodded and handed the special flashlight that could illuminate footprints on the ground to Ning. Ning Qiushui turned on her flashlight and followed the footprints, finally stopping in front of the wardrobe. He carefully examined it, then felt around inside. Finally, he found a wooden plaque in a narrow crevice in a very hidden, broken corner of the wardrobe. The wooden sign was tied with a red rope, on which was written a character they knew well. Ruin. Upon seeing the wooden sign, Bai Zhaoxiao's eyes flashed. Liu Chengfeng seemed to understand something as well. Last night was the ghost in your room looking for this. Ning Qiushui nodded. That's probably it. This plaque should only be owned by members of the Ruin clan. At least, it's not something that tourists could get. Temps. Jiao must have met with the village's shaman to have obtained so many Ruin clan plaques. Bai Zhao raised her eyebrows slightly. Was it the sorceress Ruin who instructed Tang Jiao Ning Qiushui side? Yes, that's the worst-case scenario. As tourists, we don't know as much about the ghosts as Granny Ruin. If she wants to use them to kill us, it's impossible to defend against. Liu Chengfeng didn't understand. But we have no grudge, so why would she do that? Ning remained silent. I suspect it might be related to the temple festival. Big Beard, do you remember that diary from our first dungeon? Liu Chengfen nodded. Of course I remember. The little girl's mother received a phone call. Her grandfather said her grandmother was dying. He needed the mother to go back, but she refused. Later, after learning of her grandmother's death, the mother felt extremely frightened, as if she was afraid something would come looking for her. She even got a piece of blood jade to protect the girl. Liu Chengfeng suddenly froze at this point. You mean that little girl's maternal grandmother is the village's sorceress, Ruin? Ning Qiushui said, That's right. The little girl's mother is the daughter of the sorceress, and the sorceress Ruin's health is probably not caused by disease, but is related to the ghosts in the village. I suspect that in the timeline behind our first Bloodgate, this Rain Prayer village has gone out of control. Those ghosts are all seeking revenge against the Nguyen family. Liu Chengfeng couldn't help but gasp at the thought. Damn, what did the Ruin family do to deserve such ghosts? Then he seemed to have figured something out. That ghostly woman in human skin we met at Fankentang. Could she be the sorceress Ruin? Bai Xiu patted Liu Chengfang on the shoulder. That bearded guy's got brains now. Liu Chengfang was speechless. So what do we do next? Go directly to the sorceress ruin and tie her up. Ning Qiushui shook her head. There are so many vengeful ghosts, yet the ruin clan is still alive. They must have power. Let's deal with the person who put this sign in our room first. Both of them knew he was referring to Tang Jiao. What else can we do? Deal with her the way she treats us. Let's hide the signs in her room later, so she can experience what it's like to be targeted by a ghost. Liu Chengfang was fiercely opposed to evil. But I still don't understand one thing. What benefit does she get from helping an NPC mess with us? Bai Xiu explained. The Bloodgate has hidden rules. First, when more than 90% of the people die, the difficulty decreases and ghost restrictions increase. The second hidden rule is that blood must be seen. Finally, if only one person survives a Bloodgate, then that person will inevitably receive a ghost artifact. Upon hearing this, Ning and Lu's expressions changed. Driven by huge profits, people will do crazy things. But her door is locked. We need to find a way to unlock it. At this moment, Liu Chengfeng chuckled. No need for trouble. Just find a wire. Leave it to me. The two looked at him with some surprise. You can do this too. Liu Chengfeng coughed lightly. My master taught me. I've never used it for bad things, but now is necessary. They quickly found a piece of wire and handed it to him. Liu Chengfeng skillfully inserted and removed the wire. The door opened. The room that came into view was almost identical to everyone else's room. Ning Qiushui searched the room and finally chose to put the small wooden plaque with the character ruin written on it into Tang Jiao's pillow. Just one. One is enough. In response to Liu Chengfen's questioning, Ning Qiushui replied, the other side isn't completely unprepared. If we release too many, it will be easy to expose ourselves. Liu Chengfeng was still worried. Will she die? Having this thing in the room wasn't necessarily fatal. Ning Qiushui survived the first night. According to Ning Qiushui's description, as long as you lie in bed and don't move or make any noise when the ghost appears at night, you will be fine. Don't worry too much. If she doesn't die tonight, I have a backup plan. Bai Xiu's languid voice carried a hint of coldness. Her hands were in her pockets, and her eyes held an undisguised murderous intent. She had never liked Tang Jiao, and would never show any mercy to her. After the three of them finished doing all this and made sure they hadn't left any traces, they carefully left the room. Afterwards, they went to the cafeteria for dinner. Having analyzed the situation during the day, Liu Chengfeng looked at the cafeteria differently this time, with a scrutinizing gaze. He quickly realized that Ning Qiushui's idea was absolutely correct. This architectural style was clearly more like a hotel than a canteen. The villagers specially converted the original guest house into a canteen, and also converted an empty house that was rarely used into a guest house. It's hard not to think about the ulterior motives behind this. They carried their trays to the room where they had agreed to meet at noon, where the atmosphere remained silent. Fortunately, no one was missing this time. When Tang Jiao saw Ning Qiushui and the other two carrying trays into the room, her hand, which was about to pick up some food, visibly paused. She slightly raised her eyelids, glanced at the three of them with some surprise, and then quickly returned to normal. "You've finally arrived. I thought something had happened to you since you hadn't come back for so long." Tang Jiao let out a sigh of relief, a smile on her face. The three, who already knew what Tong Jiao had done, found her extremely hypocritical smile utterly repulsive. On the surface, he united everyone to work together to find a way to survive. But behind the scenes, he betrayed everyone. It's nothing. After visiting the undry well, I also went to Fangkon Pond, so it took a little longer. As soon as Bai Zhouxiu finished speaking, the girl sitting to their left said somewhat anxiously, "Now that everyone's here, let's exchange some clues." Everyone nodded. "Let me start with ours. This afternoon, we went to Maple Leaf Bridge." The bespectacled man who spoke finished recounting their experience at Maple Leaf Bridge in a trembling voice. In fact, the so-called clues they mentioned were basically useless appearances. However, Temps Jiao and her companion listened very attentively. After the bespectacled man finished speaking, Temps Jiao even pretended to praise him a few times, saying that the clues he provided were very useful, and that perhaps by integrating clues from other places, they could find a way to survive. A hint of joy flashed in the eyes of the three men in the bespectacled group, and then they all looked at Ning Qiushui and her two companions. "By the way, Ning Qiushui, what did you do this afternoon? What's beyond the never-dry well and the square pond?" Faced with the bespectacled man's questioning, Ning Qiushui calmly recounted their entire encounter that afternoon, but concealed some of the facts about the human-skinned female ghost, only saying that it was fortunate that Bai Zhouxiu had a powerful, life-saving ghost artifact. Otherwise, all three of them would have died in that place. He was a master storyteller, and even from what Ning Qiushui said, everyone could sense how dangerous the situation was. After listening, they realized they were soaked in cold sweat. A hint of displeasure flashed in Tang Jiao's eyes as she sat furthest from Ning Qiushui, but it was quickly replaced by a ferocious sneer. "You've got some good luck, but unfortunately, this luck can only save you for a while, not forever." Just thinking about the things in the three-person room made Tang Jiao's lips curl into a smile. These 7 idiots in front of me probably have no idea that they're being completely fooled. By the time they realized it, it was too late. With the fortune-teller's promise and help, she will surely be the last one to survive. Not only will she be able to successfully complete the task on the Blood Gate and leave this place, but she will also receive a ghost artifact given by the Blood Gate. Thinking of this, Temps Jiao was so excited that her fingers holding the chopsticks trembled slightly, but she quickly composed herself, took a deep breath, and said to everyone, "We've found quite a few clues, but there are some things I need to think about. We'll meet here again for breakfast tomorrow morning, and I'll put all the clues we've gathered together for everyone, including those related to Fankentang and Fu Temple. Thank you all for your hard work today. After dinner, please go back and rest early. It's not very safe in this village at night." The other team members vaguely sensed that something was amiss. Everyone had shared clues that night, but Temps Jao, as the one who initiated the incident, hadn't uttered a single word. They may be newcomers, but they're not stupid. Just as they were wondering if Tang Zhao had tricked them, they heard Bai Zhaoxi say quietly, "Tang Zhao, we've all shared our clues, but you're keeping them to yourself. Isn't that inappropriate? If you can tell us tomorrow morning, why can't you tell us tonight?" As soon as she finished speaking, the bespectacled man immediately adjusted his glasses and timidly echoed, "Yes, just say what you think. Tonight we can all work together to combine the clues and think about where we can survive. 3 cobblers can outwit Zhuge Liang, right?" If Bai Zhaoxiu's words were the trigger, then the bespectacled man's agreement was the spark that ignited the fires. Seeing that everyone's eyes were on her, Temps Gao's face visibly stiffened. Under the table, she clenched her fists. Damn Bai Zhaoxiu. Back when she saw Bai Zhaoxiu's look at noon today, she felt that this woman was not easy to fool, and that the other party was probably an old hand who had been through several doors. Generally speaking, although the newcomers in the Bloodgate are not lacking in intelligence, they are not very wary of humans under the strong pressure of ghosts and monsters. The intense environmental pressures made them easily trusting of strangers. Therefore, newcomers are very easy to fool. Tang Zhao has tried this method many times without fail. She has 3 ghost artifacts, all of which she obtained by mentoring newbies in the first 2 difficult Bloodgates. However, this time, she seemed to have encountered some trouble. Although she was being watched by everyone, Temps Zhao was no pushover. A plan formed in her mind, and she crossed her arms, leaned back in her chair, and looked at everyone with a provocative expression. "Are you sure you want to know this clue?" The bespectacled man noticed her strange expression and asked, "Is this clue particularly special?" Tang Zhao was fearless and confident. "Of course, otherwise I would have told you already. The hidden clues I've learned about the Pu Temple and Fang Compound are somewhat dangerous. People who know about these clues might encounter something unclean tonight. Are you sure you still want to listen?" As she spoke, her voice unconsciously became more sinister, and a slightly eerie smile appeared on her lips, causing the 3 newcomers to hesitate immediately. If that's really the case, then it's understandable that Tang Zhao didn't tell them this clue. In fact, to some extent, she was protecting them. Looking at Tang Zhao's provocative expression, Bai Zhaoxiu knew exactly what she was thinking. This cunning woman is just trying to provoke me. In Temps Gao's imagination, the next plot would be Bai Zhaoxiu would refuse to believe in the superstition and insist on hearing this clue, and then die mysteriously tonight, thus confirming Tang Zhao's statement. The remaining 3 newcomers would not only be grateful to her, but their level of trust would also rise to a new level, making them easier to control, and even turning them into her puppets. Of course, Bai Zhaoxiu had already seen through all of this. She herself was a shrewd person who had passed through many Bloodgates and seen too much deceit and treachery. She had seen countless people like Tang Zhao. However, she still decided to cooperate and continue the charade. "I'm not afraid. Just tell me this clue." I can also help everyone determine whether this old man who claims to have passed through the 5 blood gates is real or fake. The men in the bespectacled man's squad looked slightly pleased upon hearing this. This girl is nice. Thank you very much, Miss Bai. Bai Zhouxie waved her hand. Need not. The 3 people left the room, and Tenxiao called the little girl she was with to leave as well, leaving only 4 people in the room. At this moment, Tenxiao generously took out a wooden plaque from her pocket and placed it on the table. The 3 of them looked at it, and sure enough, it was the identity plaque with Ruin's name on it. This is the clue I found. Bai Zhouxie feigned surprise. That's it. Tenxiao nodded. That's it. She had no intention of explaining to the 3 of them. So she put away the wooden plaque on the table, turned around, and left the room. It seemed that in Teng Jiao's eyes, Ning, Liu, and Bai were already dead, and it would be a waste of breath to say another word to them. Only after Teng Jiao had completely left did Liu Chengfeng utter a curse. Damn it! Every time I see that woman's face, I want to slap her twice. Bai Zhouxie tapped her fair fingers lightly on the table and chuckled softly. I want to too. However, we don't need to get angry at a dead man. She probably won't live past tonight. Soon, night fell. The group stayed in their rooms, pondering a way to survive. In reality, most people can't figure anything out, because they haven't received any useful clues from beginning to end. The moonlight outside the window was still bright and cool, but the light shining into the room through the glass had an indescribable chill. Ning Qiushui, who was asleep, was awakened by a strange sound at some point. He listened carefully and quickly realized that the sound was the same as the sound of that horrible, charred ghost crawling on the ground last night. The sharp sound of its claws scraping against the ground was like an iron needle scraping hard against Ning Qiushui's heart. This time, however, the charred ghost did not enter Ning Qiushui's room. Instead, it crawled step by step past Ning Qiushui's door and continued crawling forward. As the sound faded into the distance, Ning Qiushui tiptoed out of bed, opened the door a crack, and cautiously observed the thing crawling on the floor. Although the corridor was dark, the moonlight from the balcony on one side allowed Ning Qiushui to clearly see the dark, indistinct thing crawling on the ground. It turned out to be a corpse with only the upper body remaining, which had been burned alive and turned into charcoal. The upper body of the corpse was very small, suggesting it belonged to a child. On its abdomen, the dragged spine and internal organs were still faintly visible, but all were charred black. Its whole body exuded a strong smell of burning, and it crawled on the ground with its 2 arms. The moment Ning Qiushui saw the corpse, she suddenly remembered the annotations she had seen at the Fu Shrine during the day. It describes how Gongshu's wife and son were locked in the Misty Rain Pavilion. Later, the Misty Rain Pavilion was struck by lightning during a rainstorm and caught fire, which was not extinguished by the rain. He suddenly realized something and took out the memorial tablet from his body. Guangchuan. That's right. This guy must be Hirokawa, Hiroshu's son. So this so-called guest house of ours is actually the Misty Rain Pavilion that Gunshu's family once built for the village. Having guessed the truth, Ning Qiushui's heart clenched tightly. The villagers of Qiu village actually converted a haunted house into a guest house for these outsiders to stay in. What exactly are they trying to do? Why do they so desperately want these tourists to die? Just as Ning Qiushui was pondering, the sound of a door opening came from one of the rooms ahead. Click. Not long after, a woman's terrified scream suddenly came from that room. No, it wasn't me. You've got the wrong person. You've got the wrong person. Ning Qiushui was all too familiar with that voice. It was Tang Jiao. She didn't know what had happened in the room. Her screams were exceptionally shrill. After a while, her screams gradually subsided, and the sound of something chewing could be heard coming from inside the room. Ning Qiushui felt a chill run down her spine from the sound. She silently closed her bedroom door and climbed into bed. Temps Giao's screams just now were extremely loud. That night, no one on the floor could sleep. They huddled under their blankets, shivering. As dawn broke, a terrified and helpless cry echoed from the other end of the corridor. Sister Temps, Sister Temps, Sister Temps. Temps Jiao's screams echoed for a long time last night, but no one dared to check it out from beginning to end. No one knows what happened to her in that room. It wasn't until the sun shone into the guest house the next day, dispelling the gloom, that the newcomer, whom Temps Jiao had led into the blood gate, dared to cautiously push open Temps Jiao's door to check on her condition. But this was all it took to look inside that scared the young bride so much that she peed herself on the spot. Generally speaking, adults have a certain psychological tolerance limit. Although encountering such bizarre and terrifying things may leave a long-lasting psychological shadow, it is rare for them to be so frightened that they lose control of their bladder. But there are exceptions, especially when you're holding in your pee in the morning. The little girl's piercing wails led everyone to the door of Tang Jiao's room. They cautiously peered inside and found Tang Jiao lying on the ground, her posture contorted. The ground was littered with bits of flesh and blood. She was no longer recognizable as a human being. Did you all hear her screams last night? The bespectacled man asked, trembling. Bai Zhao Xiao looked at Tang Jiao's corpse without a trace of pity. She shouted so loudly. Of course, she heard it. Then why didn't anyone go to save her? Then you heard it. Why didn't you go and save her? I dare not. We're all newbies, and we don't have any life-saving items. Bai Zhaoxiu sneered. Life-saving items are very precious. Any ghost artifact brought out from the Bloodgate has a limited number of uses. Why should I waste precious tools to save a complete stranger? The man with glasses fell silent, and everyone else fell silent as well. Only the little girl lying on the ground was still crying. The air was thick with the stench of blood and a faint smell of urine. This young girl, named Luo Yan, was a newcomer to Temps Giao's residence. She seemed to have a good relationship with Temps Giao and was crying sadly. Liu Chengfeng felt sorry for her and wanted to comfort her, but Luo Yan suddenly raised her head and scolded them. You selfish people. You clearly have life-saving items, yet you won't save Sister Tem. Now that Temji is dead, the clues are gone, and none of us are going to get out of here alive. Wire. By Qiushui. I crossed her arms and said lazily, "She is indeed dead, but it has no impact on our search for a way to survive. After all, Tang Jiao has been lying to everyone from the very beginning. She definitely had life-saving items, but was too careless last night. Knowing that this bloodgate is extremely dangerous, she still made such a reckless move. She deserved to die." As soon as Bai Xiaoxiu finished speaking, the bespectacled man realized something. "Bai Xiaoxiu, you just said, Temps Xiao has been lying. What do you mean?" Bai Xiao replied, "Some of these are just guesses. I'll just say some things. Things that I can definitively prove she's lying. The thing is, Zhao never went to Fankentang. Don't be fooled by her aggressive demeanor. She's just bluffing us." Luo Yan looked like a mouse whose tail had been stepped on. "You're talking nonsense." Sister Tem clearly went there. I went with her. She was anxious to clarify, knowing that if Tang Jiao hadn't gone, she hadn't either. Then she would face two scenarios. First, be abandoned. Secondly, visit the remaining attractions alone. Choosing the second option was terrifying after hearing Ning's story. "Oh, you went with her. Are you sure?" Bai Xiaoxiu's oppression was very strong. A simple question left Luo Yan speechless for a long time. After a long while, she stubbornly said, "I'm sure." Sister Tem did indeed go there. Bai Xiaoxiu shook her head. "They can't even lie properly." "I didn't lie." "Okay, then answer one question to prove it." What's the problem?" Bai Xiaoxiu smiled charmingly. "I won't let you describe Fankentang. No one knows if it's true. I only have one question. Tell everyone, when did you go?" Upon hearing this, Luo Yan felt her heart tighten. This question seemed easy, but in reality, it doesn't work. This is their third day. Tang Jiao told everyone at noon the next day. In other words, she could only have gone before noon yesterday. Thinking of this, Luo Yan wanted to say morning, but remembered Fankentang was far, so she blurted out, "We went there on the afternoon of the first day. It was right when we entered this blood-red gate. It was 3 in the afternoon, and we thought we'd check out the sights." The moment Luo Yan uttered those words, everyone guessed they were lying. "When did you get back?" Bai Xiaoxiu sneered. Luo Yan swallowed hard. I forgot. It was very late." Bai Xiaoxiu continued to press. "Didn't you check the time? You wear a digital watch, and don't you even look at it." Luo Yan trembled, her emotions reaching a breaking point. She abruptly stood up, glaring at the crowd, and almost screamed, "I told you, we went to Fankentang on the first afternoon." "Fine. If you don't believe me, then so be it. What kind of skill is it for a group to bully a newbie?" After she finished speaking, she pushed through the crowd and ran back to her room. Bang! The door was slammed shut. Bai Xiaoxiu seemed unconcerned. "Sister, Bai, haven't we gone too far?" Liu Chengfeng whispered. He hated evil, but was tolerant of innocent people. Bai Xiaoques said coldly, "No snowflake is innocent in an avalanche." Temps Jiao couldn't tell her anything important, but she certainly wasn't completely ignorant either. Yet she chose to remain silent. "Do you think she's a good person?" Liu Chengfang fell silent. Although Lu Yan is timid, she is still quite cunning. If she had the ability, she might have done something even more ruthless than Tang Jiao. After saying that, Bai Xiao suddenly yawned. I'm sleepy. I'll go back and catch up on my beauty sleep. Last night was so annoying. The howling of ghosts kept me from sleeping. The ghost artifact is a gift bestowed upon the trial participants. That is precisely why it possesses absolute privacy. A person can lend their ghost artifact to others within the same bloodgate, but cannot give it away. When the owner of a ghost artifact dies, all of their ghost artifacts will be sealed away and become ordinary items. After everyone left, the newcomer named Luo Yan cautiously opened her door, gritted her teeth, and suppressed her fear as she entered Tang Gao's room. She dared not look at the grotesque corpse on the ground, and trembling, she searched the room. Finally, she found 3 ghost artifacts in Temps Jiao's backpack. Although she knew this rule, she still put the 3 ghost artifacts away. Who knows if they would work? What if they were useful? When people are in despair, they won't let go of even the slightest glimmer of light. Luo Yan is an example of this. But when she put the 3 ghostly artifacts into her backpack and was about to turn around and leave, she suddenly stopped in her tracks. Her eyes were filled with immense terror as she stared at the ground before her. The corpses that were just lying all over the place have vanished in the blink of an eye. Not only the bodies disappeared, but also the bloodstains on the ground. It's as if no one named Tang Jiao has ever lived in this room. Luo Yan was terrified. She felt a chill down her spine, as if the dead Temps Jiao was watching her from somewhere. Without looking back, she rushed out of Temps Jiao's room, ran back to her own residence, and locked the door from the inside. Around 10 a.m., the 3 men with glasses went out again to look for new clues, while Bai Xiao, who had been actively searching, had just finished washing up. Ning Qiushui moved a chair and sat in the open space to bask in the sun. He doesn't seem to be in a hurry. Neither of them was in a hurry, but Liu was. Hey guys, what's going on? Aren't we going to look for clues this morning? Ning Qiushui didn't turn her head, but sat swaying back and forth, her brows furrowed. Clues? What clues are we still looking for? Liu Chengfeng strode up to him. Isn't there still one attraction we haven't visited yet? Perhaps that tourist attraction holds a crucial clue. Ning Qiushui shook her head. It's no use. Liu Chengfeng didn't understand Ning Qiushui's thoughts and let out an awe. Just as he was about to ask further, Bai Xiao's voice came from behind him. We've already gotten the clues we wanted, but if we risk going to search for more, all we'll find are the villagers' lies. Liu Chengfeng didn't understand, so Bai Xiao continued to explain. These attractions were built by the villagers, and they are what they want us to see, so it's impossible to find the truth in these attractions. Liu Chengfeng was somewhat anxious. What can we do? We can't just sit here and wait to die. The temple festival is starting in 5 days. Seeing Liu Chengfeng's appearance, Bai Xiao sighed softly. I know you're in a hurry, but don't rush. There's no use in being anxious. At this moment, Ning Qiushui who had been basking in the sun, asked a question. What role do you think the ruined family played in the clues the Bloodgate gave us? Are they the kind-hearted who bleed themselves dry, or the merciful who cut off their heads? Or are they innocent people who yearn for rain and stability? Both of them sensed the hidden meaning in Ning Qiushui's words. Bai Xiaoshu subtly caught something and glanced at Ning Qiushui. Qiushui, what do you think? Ning Qiushui turned her head and looked at the two of them, her eyes sharp. The answer is neither. The two were taken aback. Neither, Ning Qiushui said. At first, I didn't understand what this blood-red door meant, but now I think I understand. Pay attention to the order of these prompts. The good shed their blood and became sweet rain. The compassionate cut off their heads. If that is so, why should the innocent wait for sweet rain and peace? Upon hearing this, the two were suddenly taken aback. Ning Qiushui continued, because they have received neither sweet rain nor peace. Among this group of people, there is also a perpetrator. He made the good bleed dry, the compassionate lose their heads, and the innocent gain nothing. Hearing what Ning Qiushui said, the two of them felt their breathing become rapid. Young man, according to you, Granny Ruin is the one who committed the evil. But why would she do that? It doesn't make sense. We're all from the same village, and we have no grudges against each other. Just as Liu Chengfeng was confused, Bai Xiaoxiu said something that sent chills down his spine. How can the status of a village shaman be demonstrated? Of course, we'll make this village haunted. Boom. As if struck by lightning, Liu Chengfeng's eyes widened, and he stood motionless. This. Seeing his incredulous expression, Bai Xiaoxiu sneered. Sometimes, people are much scarier than ghosts. After a moment of silence, Ning Qiushui said, Yesterday at noon, there was an auntie serving me food in the cafeteria. When I asked her about the architectural style of the cafeteria, her eyes darted around. She must know something. But when I went to the cafeteria this morning, she wasn't there. The cafeteria staff said she wouldn't be here until noon. We still have time. Let's wait a bit longer. I want to talk to her alone at noon. With Guangchuan's memorial tablet, the two nodded. If you can get the truth directly from someone in the know, that would be ideal. When lunchtime arrived, the three of them went into the cafeteria. However, Ning Qiushui frowned when she saw the cafeteria lady serving food. This person is not the one from yesterday. A vague sense of foreboding crept into his heart. Hello, sir. I'd like to ask, why didn't the lady who served food yesterday come? The old man serving food, his eyes clouded, was confused for a moment. She doesn't seem to be feeling well. She's not feeling well. Is she sick? The old man serving the food shook his head. I don't know. I didn't ask in detail, but I guess it's just some minor ailment. The medical conditions in the village are poor, and there's a bit of evil spirits around, so it's normal to have headaches occasionally. Upon hearing this, Ning Qiushui asked the old man for the old woman's address. After obtaining the information he wanted, he took the tray to Bai and Liu's room. Hey buddy, how's it going? While shoveling food into his mouth, Liu Chengfeng looked at Ning Qiushui and asked, She didn't come, saying she wasn't feeling well. But I feel things aren't that simple. After dinner, let's go to her house to check on things. The two nodded. After the meal, they followed the old man's directions and entered the village. To be honest, this was their first time visiting this place. The attractions and guest houses in the village are completely different from those in the village itself. The former two buildings are very exquisite, while the living environment of the villagers in the village is quite simple, even somewhat like a poor and remote place. Judging from the architectural environment of the scenic spot, the three of them originally thought that the villagers were quite well off, and that everyone was living a relatively affluent life. However, the current environment is completely different from what they had imagined. The ground was covered with mud and gravel, and most of the villagers' houses were mud brick houses, without even brick walls. Everywhere you look, there is desolation. Holy crap! How could it be so dilapidated? Liu Chengfeng muttered something under his breath. Even someone as thick-skinned as him noticed the abnormality in the village. The three walked along the dirt road, and the villagers who occasionally passed by, as well as those busy in their courtyards, all cast strange glances at them. It was a strange kind of scrutiny. Their eyes held a hint of unspeakable guilt, and a touch of inexplicable gloom. Without exception, the villagers always looked them over furtively, never staring directly at them, and none of them dared to meet their gaze. These people are definitely hiding something. Ning Qiushui gave a cold laugh. Soon, they arrived at the address of the woman who served lunch in the cafeteria yesterday. As they pushed open the dilapidated gate and stepped into the yard, they bumped into a middle-aged man who had just come out of the house. The middle-aged man was holding a basin of water, with a towel draped beside him. Upon seeing the three people, the middle-aged man's expression changed. He first showed a startled panic, but quickly suppressed it. "Who are you, and what are you doing in my house?" The middle-aged man's voice was indifferent, seemingly harboring hostility towards the three. Ning Qiushui spoke. "We're here to find Milan." Milan is the name of the older woman who served lunch in the cafeteria yesterday. The middle-aged man had a cold expression. "You've come to the wrong place. There's no one named Milan here." After saying that, he tried to drive everyone out, just as Ning Qiushui was considering whether to force her way in. Bai Zhaoxo suddenly spoke up. "You'd better not stop us, to tell you the truth. It's not us who want to see Milan, but someone you can't afford to mess with." The middle-aged man paused slightly. Bai Zhaoxo swayed her steps, walking slowly but surely to him, and whispered a name to him. Upon hearing that name, the middle-aged man's face turned deathly pale. He took 2 steps back, his forehead already beaded with cold sweat. "You don't believe me?" Bai Zhaoxo had a half smile on her face. "Do you want us to produce that thing?" Right in his arms. The eerie voice, like a cold wind blowing from the dead of winter, made the middle-aged man shudder. He quickly shook his head. No need. Milan is my wife. She is not feeling well today, so I don't really want her to see outsiders." Bai Zhaoxo smiled gently. "Don't worry. Every wrong has its perpetrator, and every debt has its debtor. We're not here to seek revenge. We just want to confirm some things with her. We'll leave after we've asked." The middle-aged man poured out the water from the basin, placed the basin on a stone platform, and then led everyone into the room. The room looked even more dilapidated than the outside, as if it hadn't been cleaned in a long time. Many pieces of furniture showed heavy signs of age, giving the impression that the house was built decades ago. A short, plump, middle-aged woman was lying on the bed, wrapped in a blanket, her lips pale. Her eyes were closed, as if she were asleep. Bai Zhaoxiao stepped forward and reached out to touch the middle-aged woman's forehead. "I have a fever." Moreover, it was a high fever, estimated to be a little over 39 degrees Celsius. It seemed that the three of them were making a lot of noise, which woke Milan up. She opened her eyes and screamed in surprise. When did you come to my house?" Ning Qiushui gestured to Liu Chengfan, signaling him to close the door. As the door creaked shut, the room instantly became dark. Snap! He pulled up the chandelier. The dim light shone on people, inexplicably adding a touch of eeriness to their figures. "I have a question I want to ask you. We'll leave after I ask it." As if she still remembered Ning Qiushui's face, Milan's expression softened slightly, and she was no longer as panicked as before. However, as soon as Ning Qiushui asked the next question, Milan's body, which was hidden under the quilt, suddenly tensed up. "Why would you clean a haunted house for us outsiders to live in?" Milan stammered, her face pale. "What haunted house? I don't know what you're talking about." Ning Qiushui looked into Milan's eyes and suddenly smiled. "That building you hastily cleaned up, it must be the ruins of the Misty Rain Temple, right?" Upon hearing this, Milan trembled violently. The middle-aged man standing nearby noticed something was wrong. He was about to step forward to stop her, when Ning Qiushui suddenly took something out of her bosom and placed it in front of him. Upon seeing what it was, the middle-aged man screamed, covered his head, and knelt on the ground, trembling. He seemed possessed, muttering to himself, "It's none of our business. We didn't do it. Don't come looking for us." At this very moment, what Ning Qiushui was holding in her hand was none other than Guangchuan's memorial tablet.